We had an energy crisis this last week, with frigid blasts of Arctic weather that deprived the capability for service of electric grids and leaving millions of Americans without power in the middle of dangerously cold temperatures. Record-breaking cold weather forced residents to use their electric heaters and pushed power demand beyond their limits that grid operators had planned for.
I have to adapt to this environment. I have to learn how to winterize my home. I didn't know I have to winterize my home in order not to freeze in winter time. I have to purchase new clothing. I have to wear sometimes gloves, sometimes hats, sometimes to cover my ears, to protect myself. And that's normal when we move to different city, to different latitude in our continent. I am original from Peru. I didn't have to, maybe I have to purchase a new sweater and that's all, or use the sweaters I have, but those sweaters and those gloves didn't work here. I have to prepare for the winter. The events that happening in the past weeks, we know what happened in Texas. It's related to not being prepared. It's related to being out of touch with the weather and with climate change. Because those events that happening in Texas are going to be more frequently. Politics do not understand that. The scientific community has been warning all these times that these type of strong events will be more frequently and more often. When the Arctic weather arrived to Texas and the south of Texas and north of Mexico, that means a lot. The power grid are not prepared for those events. They didn't prepare, they didn't winterize their houses, they didn't winterize their grid in order to supply energy, specifically gas, because most of the energy in Texas and the electricity is powered by gas. I will say more than 80%.
At the same time, gas-fired power plants were knocked offline because of the icy conditions, with some plants suffering shortages as natural gas was depleted just when demand spiked. Many of Texas' wind turbines also froze and stopped working. As climate change accelerates, many electric grids will face extreme weather events that go far beyond the historical conditions those systems were designed for, putting them at risk of catastrophic failure. Jesse Jenkins, an energy systems engineer at Princeton University, said, "What makes this problem even harder is that we're now in a world where, especially with climate change, the past is no longer a good guide to the future. We have to get much better at preparing for the unexpected." The vast majority of those failures occurred at thermal power plants, like natural gas generators, as plummeting temperatures paralyzed plant equipment and soaring demand for natural gas left some plants struggling to obtain sufficient fuel. Polar vortex disruptions are becoming more frequent, making it even trickier for electricity planners to anticipate the dangers ahead. "This is going to be a significant challenge," said Emily Grubert, an infrastructure expert at Georgia Tech. "We need to decarbonize our power systems so that climate change doesn't keep getting worse. But we also need to adapt to changing conditions at the same time. And the latter alone is going to be very costly. We can already see that the systems we have today aren't handling this very well."
We are here at high altitude and we are prepared for that, and we didn't have any shortage of power here in this state. Some states also are more prepared. The northern latitude state, like North South Dakota, are better prepared. South Texas is not prepared because they didn't expect this kind of weather. So this kind of weather will be more frequently, and they just think that it won't happen there. And the summers will be another story.